The content you're about to enjoy comes from the archives of The Best You. We're devoted to the very best in personal development. With a magazine and resources dedicated to inspiring and changing people's lives, at The Best You, we work with the world's leading writers and trainers on the evolution of the self, and people whose journeys have been affected by their work and words. For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.
My story started, I was going to a horse show. I was 10 years old. And my mother said to me, "Go and get the horse's head, collar and rope." I looked for the horse's head, collar and rope. It was kept in a dusty old room at Catlets Farm, Chorleywood, Hertfordshire, but it was no good. It was higgledy-piggledy. I searched, I couldn't find the rope, and I knew that if I went back to my mother, who only had to look at me with one of those side-eye glances, my stomach would drop. Like, you know when you're going over a humpback bridge too fast? It was like that. She'd send me back. "Go and look again, Emma." But reluctantly, I had to leave the tack room, empty-handed, and I made my way, and as I got to the door, I suddenly felt a sharp slap on the back of my leg. I turned around, and there on the floor was the horse's head collar and rope, the one that I'd been looking for. I didn't have an explanation for what had happened that day. I didn't understand what was going on, but it started an innate, unsatisfiable curiosity for me, and all things mystical and mysterious, and an awareness that just sometimes we're not alone. The universe seems to conspire to help us, and it's our job to listen, trust, and take action when it does. And there's been 3 times in my life where that inner guidance, that voice, has come to me in the form of a command. There's been, "It's your time, buy the horse and take Lily." So it was your time. I was celebrating my beautiful friend Melissa was getting married. It was her hen night, and I was there with a bunch of girlfriends, and we were all really happy for her. She'd met the man of her dreams, and I just, as much as I was having a lovely time, this wave of sadness hit me, where I realised actually there was a few other girls that were all in committed relationships, and it seemed to be going well for them. And I had a sense that, would it ever happen for me? Would I ever meet the man that, would sweep me off my feet and want to be with me? And I just had this moment of just gloom, basically. And that's where I heard it for the first time, the voice. And it was as clear as day. It was, "It's your time too, Emma." It's like, it's my time? I haven't met anybody. I was like, okay. So the only person I'd seen recently was this guy, Michael. And we'd been out a couple of times, and he spent both occasions talking about himself, his aspirations, what he wanted to do, where he was going. He didn't even come up for air to ask me anything about myself. So I just thought, okay, so it can't be him. And then the voice was like, "No, it's your time. It's Michael. You've met him. He's your person." Okay, so armed with this, I knew it was unusual. It wasn't me, but it was like it landed in me. It was embodied. So I made arrangements to see Michael again, and this time I took a different. I had a broader perspective. I saw through the bravado into the heart of the most loving, caring, generous person I'd ever met in my life. And he's here today. We've been married for 22 years now, but I think that's a bloody achievement. And it hasn't always been, swings and roundabouts. We've had our ups and downs, but just knowing that this relationship has been divinely authenticated is kept me buoyant. It's kept us going. It's kept us together, and it's all good. So I'd just like to say, why am I up here? It's because I feel that in my life I've enjoyed some element of success. There's my marriage and our kids, which is wonderful. There's our businesses and my passion with horse riding and horses, which I'll tell you a little about in a minute. But also together with Michael, we've built up some really successful businesses. We have a beautiful lifestyle. And people have often said to me, oh, it's all right for you, you're so lucky, or you're blessed, or you always land on your feet. And I was for a long, long time, playing small, kind of making them feel better about my successes. And I've gotten to the point now where I thought, actually, no. If I have done well and I am happy and living a joyful life, then instead of pretending that's not the case to make someone else feel better, I'm here to share with you it's possible for everybody, because it doesn't come down to my education or my position or my connections, because that was non-existent, really. I've made my own luck, and the way I've done that is to go inward, to be silent, to listen to that guidance which is available to all of us, to trust it, to take action. So the other occasion I wanted to mention was by the horse. I told you I love horses, right? So we have a farm. We were breeding horses, a lot of horses. We ended up with too many horses, and then it was my responsibility to sell these horses. And we took a horse to a young horse show where all the horse producers and breeders take their young stock to showcase them. And I was there with our horse Zach, who was this really cute bay. He had white stockings and a splash of white on his stomach, and he jumped, and I was thinking, oh God, he's cute, but he's no world beater. But nevertheless, I stayed and I watched everybody else's horses, and then this beautiful little horse called Rory came into the arena. And I just sat watching him mesmerised. He seemed to be like a cat when he jumped, and it was so effortless for him. And that's when I heard it for the second time, by the horse. I was like, buy the horse, I'm here to sell horses. I've got too many horses, I can't buy another horse, it's crazy, Mommy. It's like, no. And it was like, no, buy the horse, Emma. So I knew not to ignore that. It was guidance, it was intuition. And I went to the people that owned that horse and made, arrangements to try it. And we bought that horse, and I owned him for 9 years. And he went on to be a champion, current world leader in speed jumping, and he won numerous Grand Prix. Again, not all plain sailing. He nearly died of colic, and there was this big rehab, over a year of rehabilitation. He came back, he competed here at the London Olympia Horse Show at Christmas. It's like the pinnacle, it's like the culmination of the year. He won the Grand Prix for 5 minutes, because on a technicality he had it stripped off him, and a grieved rider had seen he had a graze on his side, and that was it. He was eliminated from the class. But anyway, I'm sidetracking. Rory, I went on to sell him to a glorious home in Norway where he's teaching a young rider now the art of show jumping. And the proceeds of his sale are financing me in my well-being business. And I have a plan to open a well-being centre in central London called Sababa. And that's from Rory. And that's because I listened to that voice of intuition. I trusted it. I took a risk and I took action. And then my third story that I'd love to share with you is Take Lily. Lily's here, she's my daughter. Many of you would have met her, maybe you're here because she saw you earlier. I wanted to go to a personal development seminar in New York, and I didn't want to go on my own. I'd never been to New York, and I rang a few girlfriends to see if there's somebody that would go with me, and nobody could make it. And that's when I heard it for the third time, Take Lily. I was like, okay, no. She's 12 years old. How can I take her to a personal development center? It costs a fortune. It's not going to be, the material can't be appropriate. She's got school, but it was like, no, take Lily, and it just landed, and I obviously knew not to ignore it. So I looked at the dates. The synchronicity was amazing. It was half term. It was Lily's birthday. She was turning 13. A week in New York with my girl. Not so bad. And I emailed. It was a Gabby Bernstein. I don't know if it was a Gabby Bernstein seminar. And her team, I explained the situation, and they said, yeah, bring her. That's cool. They did me a lovely prize she could come with. So Lily and I were off to New York. We had a fabulous time. She was busy booking all the shows and everything else that she wanted to do around the seminar. And we walked into this crowded room, 350 people, adults, all there to work through their stuff, their personal development stuff. And I think for the first time in her life, Lily realised that there were adults that were still processing wounds that they had picked up from their childhoods, from an age similar to hers or even younger, and that here as adults she was looking at them and they were still kind of trying to deal with this, right? So during the question and answers, Lily's hand flew out, and I just thought, oh God, what's she going to say? Please make it be relevant. And she was amazing. She stood up and she spoke to the crowd, and she said a few years earlier she had been badly bullied at school, and it had been a very traumatic time for her, but she feels now that she's in a place where she would love to be able to support other teenagers, kids her age, who are also going through a difficult time. And she started very poised, but then became the enormity of the situation became quite overwhelming for her, and she broke down. And just spontaneously, people stood up and gave her this lovely round of applause, and it seemed to go on forever. And when there was a break there was a moment of silence, and Gabby stood up and she addressed Lily, and she played this. It was like a mantra, or it was a song, but it was like an ode to Lily. She had it on her Spotify, she found it, and people joined in, and she invited them all to close their eyes and to send her and to send love and grace to Lily, the child in the room, but so also the inner children within everybody in the room would receive a healing. So it was beautiful. It was a real moment. And if that wasn't enough, people came up after to Lily and they just wanted to acknowledge her and support her. And that would have been enough, but it's not where it ended. Because we got back to our hotel room and she switched her phone off of aeroplane mode. And her messages started to stream in. And she looked and she said, Mum, you're not going to believe this. There was a message from Phoebe, the girl who had been the bully those years earlier. And she said, Lily, I've been thinking about you. And I just wanted to apologise for all those horrible times, for all those horrible things I did and said to you. I'm so sorry. Like how the girls hadn't had any communication for 3 years. They're at different school. So when we got back the following day and I explained to Gabby what had happened, and she said, yeah, well, this is, you're working with energy. This is how it goes. This is what it's like. You followed your gut instinct. You were guided to bring Lily here. And what happened here was amazing. There were healings that were had all around that day, not just for Lily, but your daughter, the little girl on the cusp of womanhood, but for all of us. For all of us, our inner children, we all received that healing. And, Lily, look at her, she no longer carries a trace of that horror show. She no longer is victimized. It's gone. It's transmuted. It's gone. And that was all because I listened, I trusted, and I took action. So, as I said earlier, I believe that the universe does conspire to help us. And yes, I'm lucky, and yes, I'm blessed, and it's because I have followed that guidance, which is available to all of us. And how do you do that? The first step to that is to just spend a moment, maybe 5 minutes in the morning, in silence, in quiet, in gratitude. Be grateful for the blessings that you already have in your life, because when you acknowledge what's already right in your life, you somehow alchemically invite more of the good juju to come into it, really. On my website, emmarachel.space, there's a free meditation that you can just subscribe to, just download, and it's exactly for that purpose. It just sets you up. It just realigns you to remind you to focus on what's good and to invite more of that in. It really makes a big difference. So perhaps I would love to invite you to spend 10 days just trying that and just see how it feels. See if it makes a difference to you. And I would love to know, I genuinely would just love to hear how that has made an impact on you, because it really changed my life, and it does change the lives of everybody who's just prepared to open up and receive. It's as if we are walking around on aeroplane mode. We just need to flick that switch and allow the downloads to come in. Okay, so I'm so thrilled that I've had an opportunity to share that experience with you. It's really what I wanted to do, and I'm so honoured. I've got a couple of minutes, and I'd love to open up to questions if anybody has anything. No? Oh. It's www.emmarachel.space, and Lily kindly set me up an Instagram page, which I've just figured out. So the last few days I've been posting daily. I love it. I just love being able to share some little daily inspiration. So please do follow me on that too. It's emmarachel.space.
For more information on collaborating, partnering, sponsoring, supporting, or speaking at any of our events, or finding out more about our legacy clubs, go to www.thebestyou.co. If you're interested in finding out more about the amazing content we have, please go to www.thebestyou.online and get your 14-day free trial now.
Yeah, no, that's a very good question. The lady asked it, if I know the voice. So how do you recognize that voice? How do you know it's your intuition, the guidance coming through, and not just your mind chatter? I think for all of us it can be quite different, but for myself it lands, it embodies. It's a voice that comes, it's not of me, it comes through me. It's not my voice, it's just a knowing. And that's how it feels for me. So I think for some people we hear, we see, we feel, we sense. For me, it's just it lands. And like I know my name is Emma, I know that this is an instruction not to ignore. And of course, there's been times in my life where I've ignored it, and nothing terrible has happened. But the magic lies in the mystery, the real. For example, the horses, the culmination of that for us was a gold medal at the London 2012 Olympics. That's luck, or is it? Right? So you make your own luck, and it's there for all of us. There's no secret recipe, just like get off of aeroplane mode. Yeah. I can't hear you, I'm sorry. How do you get rid of the doubt? You call it out, you name it. You acknowledge it, you recognize it, you feel into it. Okay, there's that thing I do again. It's here. Where do you feel it in your body? For me, it's in my chest, it's in my throat. Right. So you know it's there. So just send your intention to that place. Recognize it, feel into it, and then try and transmute it into something better, because it will have a density, it will have a feeling. For me, it's a restriction, it's a constriction, it's a heaviness. So I like to kind of transmute that as energy. We can transmute it into something else. I choose to transmute it through visualization, through breathing gold, sparkly light, and all that lovely stuff. And if it's a thought which is a scary thought, maybe an old memory or something that happened years ago that no longer serves me, replace it with something better. What's good? Where do you feel in your flow? Where do you feel at your most calm? When are you on your game? Where, are you with your girlfriends? Are you with your family? Are you with your partner? Are you with your dog? Are you in nature? Are you painting? Are you singing? What is it? Go to that place. Envision it, feel it, blow it up, make it bigger. And replace that feeling with that crappy feeling that you don't want in the back of your neck, right? And that's what I do. I really do. I love to work with people. It's a pleasure for me, because that would take me 5 minutes with you, it would be gone, right? So I do offer coaching packages. We'll be doing some online digital courses very soon. I've got on the 5th of March limited spaces in a women's circle called Space for Grace. That's in Marylebone, London. There's some spaces left. If you go to my website, you can get your tickets that way. It's a lovely place. We come together, we sit in a circle, we share. Magic happens. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you.
For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.